Hi guys, welcome to Smashing Plastic. My name's Richard, and in this video series we're going to talk about the hobby side of gaming. We're going to talk about building terrain, painting minis. What I'm going to use for a vehicle for this is I'm going to try and build an entire city. So there's a lot of work to do, so we better get started. So this city I want to build, I want it to be modular so that every time I put it on the table, the layout can be different. And what I decided to do is start with the sidewalk. So here's an example of where I ended up. And now I'm going to show you how I went about making it. So the first thing I usually do is a bit of a sketch on a piece of paper, give me an idea of what direction I'm headed in. What I've decided to use for a base for this sidewalk is foam core, which is used in a lot of modelling. You can pick this stuff up at office supply shops or hobby shops. It's great stuff for building anything, buildings, all sorts of great terrain. So the measurements I've decided to use are 2 inches, and I usually cut them into 6-inch sections. So a lot of the tabletop miniature games, they use inches obviously for measurement and for distance, for range, for firing and things like that. So if you keep it to that sort of measurement, it makes it a lot easier and quicker to work out your movement and your firing lanes. So I've got my sections of sidewalk ready to go. Now I just need to pave it. And what I've used is this air dry modelling clay. You can pick it up again from hobby shops. I have used some cheaper stuff before, but that stuff tends to be a bit too moist and not very workable. So now I'll just show you how I went about putting on the paving. So get my clay, and then I'm going to cut off a nice thick section of the clay there, and get my little rolling pin, roll it out. I use the foam core there to keep the thickness the same, and then trim it off, and grab myself some craft glue, glue that down. And then that ruler I've got there has got a nice beveled edge on it, so it gives a good imprint. Measure out the pieces of the paving, put one down the middle, round off the edges there, and then use that craft knife to just create the indents in the curb. And that's all done. So when you're building sidewalk for an entire city, you need different sections. So I've got all sorts of different sections. I got myself a bit of a production line going when I started this project, and you get in a bit of a roll, and in order to make sidewalk for an entire city, you need lots of it. Sidewalk, more sidewalk. Yeah, there's so much sidewalk. Yeah. So when you're building an entire city, it starts to become a bit of a labour of love, and you want to speed things up as best you can. So with the paint job, all I did is put a dark grey in the airbrush and then a light grey over the top, and it turned out pretty well. The other thing I noticed with this project is when using the air drying clay, once it dries out, it starts to warp the foam core. So a bit of a flex of the paving there, and it tends to flatten it out not too bad. If you guys know of any other products out there that might work better, I'd love to hear about it. Thank you very much for watching the first episode. If you want to contact me on Twitter, I'm at AxeKickerKelly, and hopefully I'll see you back here next time. Peace!